Lack of understanding equaling hatred. Hello everybody, Tom here from the Company Code. Hope you're well today. Today we're going to discuss a subject that seems to just be the way of the world. And I'm never sure if it will ever change, but for me it should do. And that is the lack of understanding about somebody, a group, a person's point of view, and how that can spill over into fear and ultimately hatred. And in the worst case, he's actually fighting over it. We've seen this throughout history. People with different religious beliefs taking up arms amongst each other and killing each other. That, I don't know any religion really that teaches that it's okay to kill another human being for having another opinion. It's just not. There's not one. I know I've studied like religious education, and I can tell you now that there is not a single religion that pleads that's okay. Okay? It's a misinterpretation of a book, really. You know? So the real reason for this video today is on a base level. We sometimes struggle to find or to see where someone's coming from with their point of view, or what it is they believe in, or what it is they are. Okay, I'll give you a base example here. So for myself personally, a couple of years ago, I become very spiritual. My belief system was totally challenged from what it was before. A lot of things happened in my life that was unexplained, and it pretty much led me to this belief structure, this new open-minded sort of way of thinking about things. Now, a lot of my loved ones, father, mother, brother, sister, and wider family and friends, because they didn't understand or grasp the way I started to think and the way I'd started to act, they become very aggressive towards me. Instead of trying to understand from my point of view why I was in that mind state, or why I felt the way I did. Initially it was met with a lack of understanding. That became fear. And I wouldn't say it escalated into hatred, but it certainly escalated into an aggressive response. How is that right? How is it right to basically single somebody out for not believing the same thing as you? That is not right. That is never right. But unfortunately, it seems to be the way of the world these days. It starts off in primary school, from when you're a little child. You know, society has this idea about what's right, what's wrong, how you should look, how you should act. You know, gender stereotypes, if you like, which are being challenged by the day in this society now. And unfortunately, children being children can be very cruel, and anyone that's different is alienated and bullied. Instead of actually just accepting the difference, even if you don't understand it, and just welcoming that person into your group and going, okay, you don't think the same as me, you don't act the same as me, but you still like me, you're another person, and I value that you have a difference, even if I don't understand it. That person is then alienated, cast aside, and bullied and treated poorly. It's always really got my back up, to be honest, when that happens. We need to be more compassionate and more understanding, even when we don't understand, even when we don't see it from their point of view. People have the right to think, to act, and to do as they please within reason. And we should not alienate people. You know, people will say, oh yeah, I understand. Do you really understand? People will say, oh yeah, I sympathise. You can only sympathise if you've been through the situation and maybe felt similar feelings to that person. You cannot sympathise if you've never been in that position. And many people will say that, perhaps just to smooth things over and to appear like they're friendly being on someone's side. The fact of the matter is, they're not. They don't understand. It's better to be honest and say I don't understand than to lie and be like, yeah, I understand. You don't. Sometimes you don't. And sometimes you don't need to. A lot of the time you don't need to. So when somebody's coming at you with a complete curveball way of life, a different perspective, belong to a particular group, example, anyone who's homosexual, for example. Nothing against anyone gay on this channel, 100%. I have friends that are, and they are absolutely top, really great people. But fortunately, people who are that way have suffered, have been treated very poorly, very disgustingly, in my opinion. And it comes down to a lack of understanding, but we should not be angry with somebody for being the way that they are, or be fearful and then be casting them aside. We should just take on board that they're not in the same mind state as us, or they're not in the same place. They have a different take on life. That's okay, and just embrace them. Maybe this is the Christian in me, the calm person in me, the fair person in me that wants equality for all that's talking here today. But the fact of the matter is, I will never cast anyone aside for thinking differently to me. Even if they're very, ballsy with their opinion and in your face about it, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. My dad has some very strong political opinions, which I'm not going to repeat on this channel, which would anger a lot of people. My dad's my dad and I'm me. While I love him, I'm not from the same page as him. Which just goes to show we can tolerate each other and we can accept each other. Instead of looking to understand all the time, maybe it's better to just step back and go, okay, you're where you are, I'm where I am, but we can still coexist and we can still get on. The world would be a better place and less people would be fighting each other. It's food for thought anyway. This is my third and final video of the week. I really appreciate you all being here today. Thank you ever so much for your time and energy spent here on my channel. Thank you kindly. Third and final video of the week. Put down in the comment section below. Have you seen examples of where a lack of understanding can quickly escalate into fear and then hatred? Have you dealt with such situations, or do you feel that maybe, like myself, you don't need to understand always? Sometimes it's better to just be, okay, that's you, I'm me, but we can coexist and we can get on. It's almost like accepting another person's point of view without agreeing with it. Like, I agree to disagree, but I'm amicable and adult enough to get on. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below, leave me a thumbs up and a like, and let's hear that bell sign go ding dong so you know my next content's out. Back next week with another 3 videos, but until then, I want to say thank you all ever so much for being here today. I really appreciate your time and energy spent here. Thank you all. Back in a couple of days with another set of videos. Until then, take care of yourselves and bye for now.